we have come to a certain milestone. Video 1212. Now, I'm sure a lot of people would find it worth it to see all these videos, but let this video stand on its own as referring to the symbolism that can be attached to 1212. The awareness of one's transcendent being. And whether we are talking about transcending the body or transcending the psyche, the spirit soul transcends that. And that is what I mean by one's transcendent being. That and, death isn't it. 1212 can represent spiritual growth. Works and plans become one's name. Now, don't just take on arrogant names for yourself and don't live up to them. No, like a poet, you should live up to your poetry. The trials of the degrees. And whether you're talking about 12 figures of 12 ages, or whether you're talking about 12 degrees of development, each one has a test. Just like every year we are tested through our practices and through what life throws at us. Between heaven and worldly steps, this is something that's being talked about under the guise of 1212. And before I get into things that equal 1212, let's share some verses that can be referred to 1212. And of course, from Quran we have Surah 12, Ayat 12. Arsilhu manangadan yarta'a wa ya'lam wa anna lahu lahafidhun. And, the false promise of, send our brother with us and we're gonna, send him with us and, we'll play, we'll have a good time tomorrow. And we'll take good care of him. Well, did they? No, they didn't. So 852 is the 1112th verse of Quran. So that will be the next one that I attempt to share with you, if I'm allowed by fate. Okay. كَذَّبَ آلُ فِرْعَوْنَ وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ فَأَخَذَهُمُ اللَّهُ بِذُنُوبِهِمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ قَوِيٌّ شَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ. So the corrupt state and their people, it's their way to disbelieve. And when the end of them comes, they'll be taken in their sins, just like as it was done before. Because God is strong and severe in punishment. But that doesn't mean that's what our reaction is supposed to be with everything. So Isaiah 12:12 kind of stood out to me, because it's the 12th book in the Bible. So I guess there's different orders, but I like the Tanakh order because it's the older order. Samuel, Kings, Chronicles, Ecclesiastes, Isaiah. Okay. Isaiah 12:12. Okay, I don't have ones with the Aramaic and the Hebrew, but... And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and gather them together, the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Now, some of this will be by influence, and some of this will be by race, but an ensign, the Zionism that's mentioned in Isaiah is not this blood and soil thing. Although there'll be some sparks from the tribe of Judah that will be amongst them, it's about setting such a good example that the outcast will rise again. And Romans 12:12. Okay, I'm at Romans. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, the Acts, and the Romans, first and second. Okay. Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. And part of the meme, I looked at that and said, yes, I'm going to alter the meme for this a little bit, and I'm going to include the symbolism of that. And the Greek actually explains a little better. But, okay, verses that equal in their older version. Chronicles, yes. 2 Chronicles 24:19. Yet he sent prophets to them, exemplar prophets, to bring them again unto God as a noun and verb. And they testified against them, but they would not give ear. So, are you going to be the sort of person who the prophets testified against, or who they're going to testify for? Because they all testified to what their 119. Oh yeah, there's a lot. 119's huge. I will meditate in thy precepts, and have respect unto thy ways. And certainly that's something I am striving for. The actual precepts of divinity, the actual ways that God has prescribed and has manifested through the creation that's in a state of surrender. More basic, we have these Greek words, and the first part of the so-called New Testament in which they occur. Caritas, Acts 24:27. It means grace. Di rechanto, Luke 9:6, and it means pass. Tautais, Matthew 20:40, meaning this. Paralutikos, Matthew 8:6, and it means sick. Sickness, not, man, that's sick. No, different sick. And we have, with the first verse of Tanukh, in which the word appears. Betrashish, from the Song of Solomon, which means with beryl, and beryl's a stone, by the way. You have wuk shtut. 2 Chronicles 26:14. And it means and bow. Bow is in the instrument, not bow as in bow. You have from Genesis 4:7, the word for desire is tashukatu. And you have some words in English that have been rendered into, the language here. And we have, English words that are given Hebrew values as if they really spell things. But what they mean in Hebrew, when you just transliterate, okay. The incarnation of Enki, Sumerian gods. And if you haven't seen my spring equinox ritual to interpret and to experience, one might want to. And I'll say more of the ancient alien stuff at a different time, but the whole thing goes beyond the whole Daniken and whatnot. Harmonic vibration, the book of Matthew. And contrary to popular belief, you had John rewrite the book from 4 centuries before. Matthew, Mark probably came between, you had John, Mark about a little after 130, the first manuscript appears, and then by 140 you have Matthew, and then you have Luke by 150, and then you have the Didache at the end of the thing, written around the time where there was the first historical pope. So let these terms open for you how they will. I resurrected myself. Selfish motives. Just like when you pull a card or some aspect of an oracle, there's no completely good or completely bad meaning. There can be negative and positive that you can work with, but if you're not a soothsayer, you're going to leave things open. Pink is aggressive. And whether you're talking about females or whatever, when pink is attributed to life, yeah, it can be aggressive. But does that mean it has to violate other people's rights? No, it does not. I am cleaning out my closet. Let this be a psychological thing. It's like a video I watched today. It made a good point. Yes, you want all of you out and you want all of you working. So get out of the closet all yourself, but that doesn't mean you need to express everything that you felt and thought and experienced to everybody. That's, use your discretion. Destroyer of false religion. I hope to do that in someone's sense. Not by oppression, but in someone's belief. I'm hoping to destroy the false religion in them. If chosen, you stand alone. Everybody's unique, but sometimes that's a good thing. Snowflakes. There's problems on both sides, but there's definitely the problems with the paranoid sensitives or the sensitive on principle. You're making things bad for people with autism. You're making things bad with people with real issues. You're creating such a problem that the more serious things can't be dealt with, people. Broken women. Whether by feminism or something else, this is something we have to deal with in society. And if they want help, they want, we're going to prevent this from happening. I'm scared now. Nothing wrong with fear. Fear is one of the most primal drives of humanity. Sins are forgiven. Now, the preemptive, all sins are forgiven, very few people could actually be told that. If on the cross, the guy was saying, my God, why have you forgiven me? Alhe, lama salachthanu. That meant that he was given the news of forgiveness in this life because he could handle it. Now, someone being killed, yeah. A lot of people can't handle it. They got to tough it out there to the end, and they're going to face their reward of being a martyr. Command over demons. Now, let's not be overstretched with that. We have our own authority that we don't allow certain things to have over us. And by commanding our situation, it can evoke a reaction out of others. From the heavens it comes. In a physical and a metaphysical sense, Let's embrace the heavenly. Well, we're not urging on a meteor coming and killing us all or anything, though. Portrait of an American Family. I don't know. There's been too many horror movies or rock novels for me to, or rock music for me to think of anything positive at the moment. But that does have some good implications. Day by day, whether fighting addiction, not wanting to relive past addiction habits, or getting better, not really focusing on problems, but we just want to get better. It's a day-by-day endeavor, and let that little progress build up. Let that little bit of value build up. Peace with self. That's one thing spiritual practices give me. I make peace with myself and with some others. Twin angels. What does angel mean in English anyways? It means so many things that people think all sorts of things. I want a difference between the jinn and the malaika, the fire beings and the light beings, the Davas and the Ahuras, the Asuras and the Devis. But whichever they are, they can work in groups. Or if you're talking about a human being, yeah, humans can work in groups and can be paired off accordingly. You have, I see through you. Try to see through the scams of others. I see him, I know him. There's a bunch of others that I didn't quite share, but I'm just going to stop there. And I didn't record too many of those. So realize your place in this world. Control the message of symbolism in your life rather than letting it control you.